G'day, I'm Russ from Hoggy Style Barbecue, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a smashed cheeseburger. There's not much that'll beat a simple cheeseburger. Today, we're just cooking in the kitchen. All you need is a frying pan, some meat, some cheese, some buns, some sauce, anything else you want to put on it. But the most important thing is a brick wrapped in foil, and you'll see why in just a moment. So welcome to the Hoggy Style Kitchen. As I said before, we need only a few things. Mince, buns, cheese. With the mince, you want to have about 120 grams worth of coarsely ground brisket or chuck mince. If you're just buying mince from the supermarket, you can just look for the stuff that is not lean and healthy and has lots of stars. You want the least healthy because that has the most fat. You want to have 70 to 30% ratio or 80 to 20% fat ratio. So it's 80% meat, 20% fat, or 70% meat, or 30% fat. About 120 grams is what you want, formed into a very loose ball. I'll just put it on my scales. I'm at 121 grams, so near enough's good enough. It's not an exact science. If you're like me and you like pickles on your burger, that is a very good optional extra to add. I prefer the Feldberg's Special Burger Pickles. They taste very similar to a certain brand of pickles that you will find on a certain brand of golden arched burgers. They're delicious, absolutely delicious. And I happen to use them in the burger sauce that we'll be making today. So if you can get them, I suggest you do get them. Also, if you wanted to try chopped raw onions or mushrooms or anything you want on this burger, feel free. So, before we prepare the beef, we want to prepare our burger sauce. Burger sauce can have anything you want in it. It can be just tomato sauce, just barbecue sauce, just mayo, any combination of the three. Or you can make a specialized burger sauce that you often see in bottles in supermarkets. Normally these are mustard, mayonnaise and tomato sauce based, with some extra tangy bits thrown in just to make it a little bit more delicious. So we're going to make ours basically out of that. Time to get the ingredients together. Tomato sauce, minced garlic, pickles, hot sauce. I prefer Cholula. You can have whatever you like. This is Black Magic by Heavenly Hell Hot Sauces. It's a very special sauce. It is a Worcestershire sauce based with a couple of other extra goodies thrown into it. It's sensational. If you've got it, you know how lucky you are. If you don't, you can just use Worcestershire sauce and feel very sorry for yourself. You need mayonnaise, mustard. Easy peasy. Alrighty, so mayonnaise first. Get a good spoonful. Remember how many burgers you're making? Get enough to make enough for all of the burgers. So, good spoonful of mayonnaise. Squirt of tomato sauce. Yep, pretty good. Teaspoonful of Dijon mustard. A small teaspoon of garlic. Minced garlic is the best. So maybe half a teaspoon of minced garlic. Put them to the side. A good few drops, depending on how hot you like it, of Cholula. I like it with a little bit of kick. Splash of Black Magic or Worcestershire, depending on what you've got. And this last step is completely optional because I know so many people don't like pickles and they're very strange people indeed, but we'll forgive them just this once. We'll get a few pickles out and mince them up. Just finely chop them. Depending on how thick you want them or how chunky you want them, you can set them any way you want. I like mine fairly chunky. And a little sneaky trick, pour a little bit of pickle juice in, just a dollop, nothing too big. Grab one of our spoons, and as one of my favorite YouTubers says, and we mix. Thank you, Sam, the cooking guy. All right, let's give it a taste. Perfect. If you want to change anything in it, you can. Add more, add less, chuck some salt and pepper in, chuck whatever you want in. That's just a really great flavour base. Next up, the beef. So, we start off by putting some oil and some butter in our cast iron frying pan. If you haven't got a cast iron frying pan, that's okay, but anything with a heavy base will give you a better crust. Alright, so we chuck the heat on to almost as high as it'll go. Let the butter start to melt and start to bubble up, nice and delicious. Just put that in there. Now is when we get the foil wrapped brick. This is to replace a burger smasher. I don't expect many of you will actually have a burger smasher at home, so this is a very good substitute. If you do have a burger smasher, fantastic, use that. I don't have one, so I'm using a foil wrapped brick. So we'll just make sure the butter is all the way around the outside of the pan. Get that oil nice and hot. We want everything to be super hot before we put the meat in. That will make sure that you get a beautiful crispy char on the outside of the beef. Alrighty, so now that the butter is getting nice and hot, starts to sizzle. We just put the meat smack bang in the middle. Then we get our foil wrapped brick. You can either use some wax paper, some baking paper if you want. You don't have to. I just find it sticks a little bit less if you use wax paper. And put it straight onto the beef patty. Push down, let it spread out, lift up the brick. You'll see the thickness is quite squished. It looks like it's not completely solid through the center of it. It's about a centimetre and a half thick. We want it a bit thinner than that, so we'll just keep putting the brick on. Push it out. Once you're at the right thickness that you like, leave the brick on for a few moments. Easy peasy. Now, whilst the brick is sitting on the meat, get your burger buns, chuck them under the grill. Take brick off. Excuse me. Now, you'll see on the outside that the beef starts to get a little bit brown around the outside. When it starts to bubble up and get even more brown around the outside of the burger, that's when you know it's time to flip. So we'll be waiting a few moments. Whilst we're waiting, salt and pepper on the raw side. A little bit of salt. Grab the pepper. Good twist of pepper. We've got a nice seasoned piece of beef. A few more minutes and we'll just see that there's some brown going around the outside. The longer you leave it, the more crust you're going to have on the outside of the meat. And the crust is delicious. Alrighty, I think it's time to give this a flip. So we'll get our big spatula, get it under it, and flip. Look at that crust. Oh, it's beautiful. Just check on the buns, not ready. Now, we don't need to completely smash this down anymore with the brick. We can just use the spatula. So if we just hold it down a little bit, just gently, making sure you get some even pressure across the entire thing, that'll give you a crust on the underside. Next step, cheese. I am a 2-slice kind of guy, so I will get 2 slices of my favorite cheese. This is Dairy Lee burger slices. No, Dairy Lee cheddar slices available at Woolworths. Put 2 slices on, chuck a lid on, that'll help melt the cheese. Check the buns. Buns are getting a bit toasty. Probably want them a little bit more toasty than that. We'll flip them over, give them a toast on the other side. And we wait. Alrighty, let's give it a check. Take the lid off. Cheese is getting melty, but it's not really melted. It's the downside of having a lid that doesn't quite fit. You can use a couple of things on this if you wanted. You could just cover it with a steel bowl or any sort of metal object over it. Just be careful when you're pulling it off because it will get very hot. We'll check the buns. Buns are beautifully toasted. Put them on a plate. We'll grab our burger sauce. Burger sauce on the bottom. So we've just placed the burger sauce on the bottom of the bun. Check the cheese. Yep, that's looking nice and melted. Excuse me. Scoop it off. And we'll just place it on the bottom of the bun. Watch fingers, it'll be pretty bloody hot. So, your burger should look like this, nice and delicious. As I said, I like some pickles. I'll get some pickles out. Chuck a couple on. Fantastic. I happen to like sauce, so I'm going to have a fair bit of sauce on my burger. So on the top half as well, coated in our burger sauce. Place it on. And voila! The perfect smashed cheeseburger. So there you have it, the perfect smashed cheeseburger. Let's take a bite out of this bad boy and see how it goes. Oh my God. There's this beautiful crust on the outside of the beef. It gives it a slight crunch. Cheese is perfectly melted. The beef's a little bit pink on the center, which is a lot nicer than what you get in most takeaway burger stores. It's really juicy. The fat content is just, it just melts in your mouth and it's so great. Tang from the burger sauce and the pickles. I really feel sorry that you can't actually taste this, but I hope you do make it, then you can taste it. 10 out of 10. Thanks for watching, legends. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. We are trying to get to 100 subscribers just so we can get that custom URL for our YouTube channel. Hope you learned a thing about smash burgers today. They are absolutely delicious. Stay tuned for the next video. Pretty sure it's going to be on pulled lamb shoulder. See you soon. Jesus Christ, sometimes I even impress myself.